Let's slap some clothes on this naked mole rat, shall we? And perhaps even prevent fist fights in parking structures over the term daylight transition zone. Well, if I'm going to show you how to put in feedback to the CEC, we need to find something to feedback on. So I downloaded all these PDF 45-day language sections. Please see This Is Not a Drill to find out how to do this. And this first one is got definitions in it. So we're going to take a look at that. And here we are. And here are our definitions. And I was about a minute and a half into this yesterday morning when I found that they have changed the name of daylight transition zone to daylight adaptation zone. This is part of a parking garage. There are three parts to a parking garage. You've got the parking zone where the cars park, what was the daylight transition zone, which is where you get in and out of the structure, and the dedicated ramps that take you from level to level. We'll look at this a little more before we put in the feedback, but the point is somebody must have thought daylight transition zone was confusing, so they put in daylight adaptation zone, though I hardly see why that would be less confusing. So I'm going to go to my section 130.1, 130.2 part of the code, and I'm going to search for the word adaptation to see if this new definition of daylight adaptation zone has been changed. In other words, has this definition been changed throughout the text? I see nothing. Now remember, we're in the code proper here. How about transition? And yeah, here it is. It's right here under parking garages, daylighting for parking garages. So the daylight transition zone is still being used. So whoever changed it to daylight adaptation zone did not go throughout the code and see if they could match everything up. So let's take a look at a parking garage and then putting in feedback on this, because basically this is rendering this definition useless. And please note that while daylight adaptation transition zone is being renamed daylight adaptation zone, it appears right here in the preceding paragraph. So I think you can guess what my recommendation will be on this change of definition. Now let's be clear on what we're talking about here anyway, just in case daylight transition zone is throwing you, because it's a pretty confusing sounding term. In a parking structure, we have parking spaces on the levels, and we have a dedicated ramp area. This communicates between the levels and you drive your car up here. This does not require daylighting. You can put it there, but it's not required. Then we have what's called the daylight transition zone. The daylight transition zone is where the little guard and the arm is to let you in and out of the parking structure. Anywhere you get in and out of the parking structure in your car, that is that daylight transition zone, or now maybe daylight adaptation zone. I'm going to recommend that they put the definition back to its original name so that they don't have to go searching throughout the code to find if that's used anywhere else. Now, by the way, this is important because if you look at daylighting for parking structures, it's required for the parking areas. All right? And there's a definition of parking area still. This is the nice part of having downloaded this onto your hard drive, is that you can just search these PDF documents once you have them down there. Used for parking, maneuvering of vehicles. Okay, so parking and maneuvering of vehicles. That would mean that we are looking at the parking areas themselves, the parking slots, if you will, and wherever you drive around. So these are treated for daylighting. They're special. Currently, we have 60 watts of lighting power in the primary daylit zone, makes automatic daylighting controls mandatory. That's changing. We can combine the primary and secondary side lit into one controlled zone, and we can simply switch the luminaires off in that zone, that combined zone, if we wish. Okay, we're getting off the subject now. I think everybody knows what a ramp, dedicated ramp is, a parking zone or area is, and what the daylight transition zone is. Please note that neither the term adaptation zone, not found in the reference appendices, or transition, neither one of these are found in the reference appendices. So, not a concern there. The first thing I'm going to do is open up one of my old feedbacks. I do these in Word, and I'm going to have to change the header. And for one thing we know is that our new docket is now 17 BSTD for Building Standards 02. You want this information included on your feedback so that the docket processing people don't have a problem with it. So we have changed our header to reflect the docket it's going into, the current date, our contact information. And you can start by saying something nice. I never do, but here we are. Robert Shearer applauds the efforts to reduce lighting power consumption in the state of California by your agency. Okay, so this covers it, and if you're interested in what the feedback looks like, you can pause it here and read it, but this is the entirety of it, and now let's go ahead and submit it to the CEC. Now I've converted my feedback to PDF, but you don't have to. They'll take a .doc or .docx Word document if you want to send one up. Let's go ahead and find the CEC website. Here we are. We go to Efficiency 2019, Standards, Rulemaking, because we're there, and Comments. And now I'm going to fill out this contact information. Now I can choose who I am. I could be an other interested person. Okay, I'm interested. There you go. And you're going to want a snappy title, and then we're going to put the document in. So with our required fields filled out, we can go ahead and find our feedback and select it and upload it. There it is. They don't tell you if you need a space in between these words, but let's just go ahead and try this then, shall we? And the trick was to hit enter to get it to take your response. Very well. We are done. As for an additional comment, we don't need that. We should have uploaded our comment, and we will find out because we should receive an email at the address that we gave for contact information. So you see how easy that was. So everybody get hot and start looking at the 2019 code. Talk to you in a bit.